Hey everyone, welcome back to Notes on the Margins with Dr. Karen McGregor. I am Dr. Karen McGregor. On this channel, I take ideas from books and real life and then apply them to student success in higher education, usually with an adult learner lens, but the lessons here are translatable across the field. I'm really excited today because we are starting a new series. This series is based on the book Unreasonable Hospitality by American restaurateur Will Guidara. So, in this series, I'm not going to do a chapter by chapter summarizing the book. I'm really going to pull out themes and moments that stuck and connect them to my point of view, some standards of care, and most importantly, how we treat students and how we support students in higher education. The book, Unreasonable Hospitality, I've linked below. So if you want to go ahead and read it, it's really great. It's technically about restaurants and fine dining, but that's a metaphor for what we're really talking about, which is experience, care, and how we make people feel. So to set up this episode, I want to just kind of start with talking about one word, unreasonable. When I think of the word unreasonable, one person comes to mind, my mother, Ann Travis. If you knew my mom, you would know that she had a very demanding style, especially when we were out to restaurants. She would order things very specifically. Her water with no ice, pancakes with no butter. She would send things back if they weren't to her exact standards, and she had lots of customizations. My reaction at the time, and still a little bit so, is an inward cringe. I wish she could just scrape it off for the butter. I wish she would just stop being, so demanding and unreasonable. And so that's kind of like my first impression of the word unreasonable. The book had me rethinking it a little bit. Maybe it's not about being difficult, or maybe how it was used in the book wasn't about being difficult. It's about having a higher standard. So it's not difficult, it's not entitled, it's about really kind of thinking about what's that next level and going for it. Unreasonable is not about being difficult, it's about refusing to accept what others call good enough. So, setting the stage for Unreasonable Hospitality, Will shares a story about his invitation to be part of an award series to be one of the top 50 restaurants in the world. And so they were going to recognize different restaurants and different restaurateurs for really being the best of the best in the world. He shares this story about how he was, invited there and felt like a freshman, and he was, surrounded by all these great restaurateurs, and then they called their name out and they're number 50, and there's a big jumbotron of them like showing their disappointment at that number. They were hoping to come in a little higher. At first you think about this and you're like, well, part of me is an eye roll. This is still an incredible accomplishment. You're still the best of the best in the world. But they were disappointed because they really wanted to be more excellent. They were already better than most. They were already excellent, but they wanted more. So they were bringing some Little Mermaid vibes there. So they had a back of the napkin moment. They were nursing their sorrows and they came up with some goals. They had a commitment to becoming number one on that list. And the rest of the book kind of outlines their journey to get to that space. So they realized that food alone wouldn't get them there. Their food was already excellent, and all of the restaurants on the list would have excellent food. They would need to be pushing the envelope in another way. And they decided they needed to elevate the guest experience. So their focus wasn't in the kitchen, it was the front of the house and thinking about how they made people feel. Um, this is not just about great dining. This is about an unforgettable experience and relentless attention to care. They weren't trying to fix something that was broken. They were trying to elevate something that was already excellent. Unreasonable is about the decision that good enough isn't good enough. So, bringing this back to higher education, I think we're often good enough. Our students get enrolled, get through courses, and get a degree, maybe. But what are they actually experiencing? And what does it feel like to be our student? In this, we should look at higher ed as a service industry. Our students don't walk away with a product, they walk away with an experience and hopefully a diploma. In this series, I'm going to pull lessons from the book and connect them to real life and connect that to student support. Students don't just experience our policies, they experience how we make them feel. What would it look like to be unreasonable about how we care for students? So, as we embark on this book, I want to recap that maybe my mom wasn't being difficult. Maybe she was just requesting a higher standard of care. And so maybe we need to think about this through the higher education lens. Where do you think we might be accepting good enough where we could add in a little unreasonable hospitality for the students under our care? Unreasonable isn't about extra. I think it's what our students deserve. And I hope this has opened your eyes to look around for opportunities to be better than good enough. Once you start to see it, I find you can't unsee it. So please leave in the comments something that you think we could be doing better as a whole in higher education. And I look forward to seeing you in the margins. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content from me.